All right, now we are going to do a quarter 20 hex bolt, 2 inches long. What do I mean by that? Well, we've seen this once before, or maybe a couple times, at least once, when we did the, whatever this was called. What was this called? Shaft support assembly. We had these cap screws that went into that screwed into the base. And when we drew the base, it said a 2 by 3 inch diameter dash 24. Well, that tells us the size of these bolts. They're 3/8 in diameter, 24 threads per inch. And this 2 by just means there's 2 of them. We also need to know how long the cap screws are, and they told us down here how long it is. It's a 3/4. So there you see the 3/8, and these aren't real threads. They're just, this is the notate the symbol that we use for threads when we're doing a 2D drawing. So it's incredibly hard to draw a 2D spiral. So ours is going to be a quarter inch wide, 20 threads per inch, 2 inches long, and it's going to be a hex nut. So this is just a standard slot. You can have a Phillips screw head. Ours is going to be a hex bolt, 6 sides. You can open and close it with a wrench. Okay. We're going to draw it right on the origin. So let's go to our sketch. We're going to pick the top. We're going to do the hex head first. We're going to look right at it. And we're going to start with our hexagon again. We do want 6 sides. We just hit enter. And a quarter 20 bolt always have the 7/16 head on it. When we on our robotics team, the majority of the bolts that we use are quarter 20, and we have a whole toolkit full of 7/16 wrenches. So we don't know what the decimal is for that. So you have to go 7/16. You may know the decimal, but 0.4375, I believe, or 0.4325, one of those. Anyway, just type the fraction in, and that's it. I'm going to extrude that 1/4 inch. Okay. I don't have a plane where I want it. All right, so I need a plane going through the center, but I need it to go through these 2 points here. Right now, my planes are going through the midpoints of the lines. I want a plane through the end points of one of those edges. So we know how to do that now. We're going to create a plane. We're going to go through a point. We want it through the origin, and we want it parallel to one of these sides. Did it do it? No. Apparently you have to have an actual plane to do it. Okay, forget that. We know another way to do this. We're going to do a 3-point plane. So this origin is on the bottom, so I'm going to pick the origin. It can't be on the same line, But then I'm going to pick that point and that point. And now I have a plane that I can use. 3 points to find a plane, 2 points to find a line. Okay, we're going to do a sketch. And somehow we need to be able to pick plane 3. I'm going to pick it from over here. Okay. We're going to do something we haven't done before. Imagine that. That's not what I want to do. Oh, I want to go sketch. Well, how did I get on? Got out of my sketch somehow. Okay, start this over. Plane 3. Normal. Yep, that's what I want. Okay. So on a hex bolt, the corners are kind of rounded off. But it's kind of rounded off in a 3D fashion. So that's what we're going to do here. So we're just going to, actually we can draw a rectangle from this point to that point. And then we're going to put a little fillet in that top left corner. Is this going to work? I think it will. That's way too big. See, this thing's only a 1/4 inch tall. They're trying to make the fillet a 1/2 inch. We want it to be like 0.05. Let's see what that looks like. 0.05. Okay, that's better. We might have to come back later and change that, but we'll try that for now. And let's then trim out that corner there. Maybe it trimmed it already. I guess it did. Okay, we're good. So now I'm going to revolve this around this line, and it's going to be a round shape with a rounded edge all the way around. And it's only going to touch these corners right here. And when it gets out here, it's going to be wider. And what I do, I want to keep everything that's inside of this that is in common with everything that's inside of the hexagonal. So let's just do this and we'll see what happens and we'll explain it a little more. So there's my sketch 12. I think sketch 11 is empty. So I'm going to revolve it. But what I'm going to click is intersect. By clicking intersect, I say keep only what is common to both shapes, the one I already have and the new one that I'm making. So I'm going to be doing this shape, and the axis is this. My radius is a little too big, but anyway. That was sketch 12. Let's go into sketch 12 and change that radius to 0.03. Okay, that's what I wanted. So that's an intersect. And we could have actually revolved this little corner here and subtracted, removed. So there's 2 different ways to do this. But that intersects. Don't use it very often, but it can be handy. So essentially what happened was it kept whatever part of the hexagonal region and the circular region or that intersected what was common to both. If it was only in one or the other, it got rid of it. Another little thing that gets rid of lines I don't like to see sometimes, which I didn't know how to do this till about a week ago. If you go shaded without edges, it makes this thing look much smoother. Gets rid of all those tangent edges. Okay, so that's the head, and now we're going to extrude the body of the screw, where the threads are going to be. So we're going to sketch. We're going to click that bottom right there. We're going to draw a circle right here, and it's 0.25 because we're doing a quarter 20. The quarter is how wide the bolt is. 0.25. And it's 2 inches long. So we will extrude it 2 inches. Okay, now we're going to put our threads in there, so we're going to need another helix. Okay, so it's a quarter 20, so it's 20 revolutions per inch. We have 2 inches, so we need 40 revolutions. All right, so do our helix. We go here, helix. It wants a cylindrical face. We want this cylindrical face, and we want 40 revolutions. Okay. Well, let's see where things are here. All right, so now we need to attach a rectangle, not a rectangle. We need to cut kind of like a triangular shape of this all the way up and down. I can see right there, there's my endpoint. Okay, is that on a plane somewhere? Needs to be on, where's this plane? Oops. It might be in a good spot because of, again, I lined this up with the origin. It just depends on where they put this. Yeah. We got this plane right here. What plane is that? The front plane. Okay, we'll see if that works. Okay, so we're going to draw a sketch in the front plane. If you drew it the way I drew it, it was the front plane. The point is, it's a plane going through this point that goes right through the middle of that shaft. Okay, so we're going to look right at it. And we're going to draw a triangle. Get way in there. Okay. Now, this thing, we're going to revolve this. We're going to basically sweep it. We're going to remove this little triangular section as it goes up the shaft. That means we know that this is 20 per inch. So 1/20th of an inch is the distance from here to here, which is 0.05. So I could make this 0.05, except that means that every time it came around, it would barely touch itself. And it doesn't like that. So I'm going to make this just a little bit less than 0.05, 0.0 4, 9. And then I'm going to make all sides of that triangle equal. So this side equal to that side, and this side equal to that side. That means if all sides are equal, all angles are equal. That's a 60-degree triangle. I don't know if 60 degrees is really the pitch of the cut or not, but we're going to use it. So I've just hooked this. Say when we did the screw, not the screw, the spring, we attached a little circle to the end of the helix, and we made new material as it went around the helix. Here we're going to be cutting material. We're going to be removing it as it goes up. Okay, so let's see if this works. We're going to go loft. We're going to remove this as it travels up this path. Look at that. Okay, so there's one other thing. The bottom of this, they don't have these little things hanging out like this. So right after we did that extrusion, before we did the helix, we want to do a chamfer. So let's do this. Grab your little roll bar and roll it up above the helix so that all you have didn't work. I grabbed this line instead of the roll bar. Make sure you got the roll bar. Okay. So all that's still there. Your helix, your cut, and everything's still there. But we want this end chamfered. So we're going to chamfer it. I'm going to go to chamfer. We're going to click this. Of course, 0.2 is way too big because it's only 0.25 total. So let's make it 0.025. Let's see what that looks like. I don't like that. Let's make it 0.04. All right, now I'm going to grab my roll bar and pull it back down past the sweep 5. And now I have a nice end on it. But I don't have a, now it's saying sweep 5 is a problem. I have to pick something out here. Let's click merge with all. Sometimes that helps. Still not. Okay, well, this didn't happen to me before. What's happening here? Face is sketch. Okay, so it's giving me problems here. Well, let's go back to this chamfer thing. Let's make it smaller. Let's go back to 0.025. Oh, there you go. I did it. So it didn't like that 0.04. All righty. Okay, now I want you, before you do your screenshot of this, to get rid of some of these planes. What plane is this? And let's get rid of your front, top, and right plane. Go over here and turn these off. It'll be easier to see. We also have a plane here. This is plane 3, which is right here. All right, fill your screen up like this so I can see this. Make sure this is hidden without edges. I should see your. You're not going to have these delete parts. I've deleted parts, and but you should have another folder that says, I want to see this too. A quarter dash 20 by 2-inch X bolt. Everything in there is meaningful in explaining this. I can go to Home Depot now and buy the exact right bolt. There's all kind of different kind of bolts, all different kind of diameters, all different kind of threads, all different kind of lengths, all different kind of heads. And so this perfectly defines it. I can go buy those and I'll have the right one for my. And then you need to put the right, so I guess it starts here, goes down to here, drag it in. You're not going to have all these delete parts, but so I'm going to move it up there. Okay, so I should be able to see these, and you're not going to have this stuff. This should be named same thing, quarter dash 20 by 2-inch X bolt. You won't have these delete things. So yours are going to look something like that. I don't know why it puts this curved thing on there, but don't worry about it if it's. All right, so your second screenshot is going to have the bolt, going to have the spring.